guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Gaynor.
Muffs Bloke Aidan.
I'm Sophie.
And today we're doing the LAPD Shootout and Manhunt of Patty Hearst.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure what this is about, but I guess we're going to go and find out. But it sounds to me like she wasn't really kidnapped.
Oh.
So
it's a bit of like a conspiracy.
Yeah, but I guess we'll see what's happened.
Let's have a look.
Monday, February 4th, 1974. A 19-year-old Heiress to the powerful Hearst family is taken from her college dorm by an armed group in Berkeley, California. Held for ransom, the story captured the nation as the Hearst family desperately pleaded and negotiated for the safe return of their daughter.
Of quiet continues at the Hearst home.
But the investigation would take a shocking turn as images surfaced of their victim taking up arms with her hostage takers and robbing a San Francisco bank in broad daylight. And the world would be shocked yet again as the fiasco kidnapping of Patty Hearst came to a bloody end after 1,200 rounds were exchanged with the LAPD. In 1973, 29-year-old prisoner Donald DeFries escapes from Soledad State Prison, where he had been serving a 5-year sentence for armed robbery. And while serving time, he befriended many members of a far-left urban guerrilla movement and had become encapsulated in the theory of vanguardism, and established his own group called the Symbionese Liberation Army, taken from the word symbiosis. And Symbionese is not a word. The SLA, mostly consisting of angsty Berkeley dropouts, set out to defy the system and give back to the people, but would quickly become radicalized by DeFries, and things quickly turned violent when Oakland Unified School District Superintendent Marcus Foster introduced a plan to implement ID cards to students. The SLA condemned Marcus Foster, stating his actions were fascist. And on November 6th of 1973, the SLA shot and killed Marcus Foster and badly wounded his deputy, Robert Blackburn. The community of Oakland was outraged, and the SLA found themselves backed into a corner, and 2 of its members were arrested in connection to the crime. And with nothing left to lose, the SLA set out to abduct an important public figure to use as leverage to negotiate the release of their imprisoned members. And 1 month later, on February 4th, Patty Hearst, granddaughter of newspaper tycoon and inspiration for the 1941 film Citizen Kane, William Randolph Hearst, was taken by the SLA. They immediately issued their demands to the Hearst estate, that they can have their daughter back if the authorities release their imprisoned members. The law enforcement personnel immediately rejected this, and the SLA instead asked for ransom in the form of a food distribution program to feed the homeless. And by February 23rd, the demand was met, but the operation came to an abrupt halt as the food distribution center quickly turned violent, as thousands fought for the free food. Meanwhile, the FBI began narrowing down the possible whereabouts of the SLA safe house. But the SLA frequently moved, leaving the feds with more questions than answers. And little did anybody know.
So, these guys that have kidnapped her, they set up a ransom to feed the homeless or to feed people that were hungry.
I think so. Yeah, that's what it was saying.
So far, they're not kind of bad guys, really, are they? They're just trying to make the world a better place.
By kidnapping her.
Yeah.
So, I think it's going really fast at the minute.
It's a
I'm
bit
like,
of a weird one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what's happening, but
The Patty Hearst was slowly bonding with her hostage takers and falling victim to Stockholm Syndrome. She began pitching them ideas, building friendships, and expressing interest in joining their cause. And between her naive age and DeFries' polarizing influence, not even 13 days into her captivity, Patty Hearst became a full-blown member of the SLA.
13 days in.
By April of 1974, running low on cash, the SLA decided to hit a Hibernia bank in San Francisco. And on the morning of April 15th, the group barged through the doors, armed with full-auto M1 carbines. They rounded up the tellers and cleaned out with a take of $10,000. Images of Patty Hearst's participation in the robbery brought on a media frenzy and shame to the powerful Hearst family, who immediately went on damage control. Their once victimized daughter, robbed of a bright future, had seemingly become a felon overnight, and investigators were just as confused. Pretty much like the world was confused. The SLA invested the money back into their group and moved to Los Angeles, setting up shop in Compton, where their numbers increased from 10 to 22. And their short stint in Los Angeles would also end in violence, when an SLA member was stopped by security at a sporting goods store for shoplifting. Patty Hearst opened fire on the store to allow her friends to escape, and they made out on foot, abandoning their van. The shooting prompted a major response from the LAPD and the FBI, as the petty shoplifting case quickly met the elements of armed robbery. The feds recognized the van and discovered a 3-day-old parking ticket inside, with the group's new home address. But the SLA quickly ditched their Compton safe house after seeing the incident made the news, and they took over a neighboring house at gunpoint. And by the following day, an anonymous caller reported them to the police. And by noon, more than 400 LAPD officers, along with FBI special agents, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, California Highway Patrol, and Los Angeles Fire surrounded the neighborhood, and a negotiator from the LAPD fired up a bullhorn, and the standoff began.
So it sounds to me like they've either brainwashed her or she's fallen in love with one of them.
Yeah.
I'm thinking how she'd been persuaded so easily like that.
After
Well,
13
it said
days.
before, didn't it, that Stockholm Syndrome, which I think is where you fall in love with your capture, isn't it?
Yeah, like you become like, you believe whatever they tell you kind of thing, and you'll do whatever they...
Yeah, because this I don't remember, you remember there was a story where there was a young girl that was taken from a garden, and she actually lived in the basement of a house for close to 20 years, and her captor raped her, and she had a child with him, and when she was found, she didn't want to leave. She'd made like a family. She wasn't scared. This was her family, and they were like, no, you need to to be
then
saved.
that's like breaking up her family, isn't it, in
and
a
she
way?
didn't want saving.
That's a bit mad.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
The residents held up within the house ran to the police after the LAPD's initial call to surrender. They reported that there were several people inside their home with lots of guns, and the SLA refused to surrender. Police deployed tear gas into the house, and the SLA members responded with bursts of automatic gunfire, and the revolver-heavy police force took cover. And as members of the LAPD SWAT team returned fire with their ARs, the SLA responded by throwing grenades into the streets. And at this point, all hell broke loose. And 2 hours into the siege, the house caught fire, most likely from the tear gas canisters. And even through the flames, the SLA continued to unleash automatic gunfire. One SLA member, Camila Hall, stepped out of the house while shooting at police and was struck multiple times by LAPD. After Hall fell to the ground, another SLA member dragged her back into the burning house. And as the flames intensified, the shooting came to a halt as the house became fully involved, and all SLA members within chose to stay and perish, including leader Donald DeFries. But Patty Hearst was elsewhere, watching the siege unfold on live TV from a hotel room with two other remaining SLA members. They returned to the Bay Area and began couch surfing with students at Berkeley. They acquired a few new members and committed yet another bank robbery on April 21st of 1975. And SLA member Emily Harris.
So was it not the leader that she fell in love with then? Because he's died and she's still pursuing it.
But I'm thinking by this point
she's just fully invested.
Yeah.
She's become one of them. That's what I'm thinking.
You would have thought she would be avoid it at least now after that.
Well, I mean, she's had so many opportunities to just walk away or escape, and she's choosing not to.
So like she's been locked up by him, is it? Or anything,
so that's why I said, kidnapped.
Yeah, and the fact she's like now recruiting other people as well.
Yeah.
And like couch surfing and stuff.
Yeah.
Like clearly like there were people that were like letting her stay with them. They were just like what were they thinking as well?
Yeah. I mean, we had a story over here a couple of months ago, I don't know if you remember, the socialite or the aristocrat that went on the run with her newborn baby.
Yes, yeah,
and that was a similar situation. She had a baby and they were on the run with this tiny baby, and she was very, very wealthy. Yeah. And he was he an ex-criminal? I think he was an ex-criminal.
Something like that, wasn't he? Yeah.
How can he be an ex-criminal?
Well, he was a criminal and he's
done his time.
Yeah. He served his time.
Okay, I understand that.
And they went on the run with this newborn baby.
Yeah.
And they sadly found the baby about a couple of months ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. But then still couldn't find them too.
Yeah.
Have they been caught though?
I don't think they have they?
What, still on the run?
Yeah, I think it's still on the run.
Yeah. But the baby was found once.
Yeah.
It was in like a I don't know.
A woodland or
yeah. So sad.
Accidentally fired her shotgun during the robbery, killing a 42-year-old mother of 5, Myrna Opsel. And at this point, the group began to crumble, and by September, all remaining members were captured by police, including Patty Hearst.
Good evening. Patty Hearst has been taken into custody. The FBI says Patty Hearst was picked up today and sentenced.
In the afternoon, as the Harrises came out in jogging clothes, police and FBI grabbed them. She tried to run, he did not.
Five SLA members were ultimately charged in the murder of Myrna Opsel. Patty Hearst denied her role in the robbery, claiming she was forced to by her kidnappers. She later pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 7 years in prison. And after 2 years served, President Jimmy Carter commuted the remainder of her sentence, and President Bill Clinton gave her an official pardon. She would move on and marry, and resume her life as if nothing happened. SLA member Joseph Ramiro is the only SLA member that remains incarcerated, serving a life sentence for the murder of Marcus Foster.
I'm with a combat unit that's armed with automatic weapons. These people aren't just a bunch of nuts. They've been really honest with me. I am a prisoner of war, and so are the 2 men in San Quentin. I'm here because I'm a member of a ruling class family, and I think you can begin to see the analogy.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to stay up...
She speaks blooming slow.
Yeah.
Get a bit faster.
Very strange, wasn't it?
It was
That's
very
a
strange.
proper weird one. How she just... So she's just out and about now, just carrying on with her
Yeah,
life?
she's just gone on with her life and got married. She's probably having children.
Yeah. When like they killed like a mother of 3,
Yeah.
was it, or something?
Mother of 5.
Mother of 5.
Mother of 5?
Yeah.
Don't get that.
No.
That's crazy. I can't believe she got out that early.
No.
Or that
What
quick.
did she do? 2 years of 7?
Yeah. Like I could understand the letting him off, letting her off up to the point where like the other members like died in that fire, but yet she's like recruiting other members like going on to kill like a mother of 5. Like that doesn't make sense to me.
No.
But
That's probably one of the weirdest stories I've heard.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.
bye.